Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome back to the channel and welcome to project number 1 of 2020 and an update already. So if you've watched my 2020 hobby planning video already, you'd have seen that I've got quite an aggressive paint schedule for this year. In this video we're going to be exploring project number 1, which was the expansion and completion of the Tzeentch Daemon forces that I've been collecting. So let's get straight into the video and take a look at some of the pictures. So as a brief reminder of Project 1 for the Tzeentch Daemons, this was the list that I came up with that I needed to complete. So there is a Lord of Change, a Change Caster, a Flux Master, 2 squads of 9 Screamers, 15 Pink Horrors and an Exalted Flamer. First up on the completion schedule then is the Fate Skimmer. So this is the Herald of Tzeentch on a disc. So a few pictures up for you now, guys, so you can see this is the second one of these guys I've actually got completed now. But basically what you get in the Start Collecting set is the ability to make one of these guys on foot or on the back of some Screamers to make a Flux Master. But also, if you're careful with the kit, you can make one of these, the Fate Skimmer. Basically, you're taking the portion that sits on top of the Screamers at the back, the kind of the chariot pieces, and instead of using all of those chariot components, just use another flying stem and a base, and in effect, you can make one of these. Now, if you don't attach him to the base, you can then paint the rest of the Fate Skimmer model and then stick him on there as well. But I'm not going to go with that because I'm not a big fan of the Fate Skimmer models themselves. There we go. That is the Flux Master, all complete, ready to go. Next up is the completion of the Pink Horrors. Now you can see on screen that there are 30 on there. That's because I'd finished 15 earlier this year and I had 15 outstanding. As I mentioned before, I bought 3 Start Collecting Tzeentch Daemons box sets and you get 10 of these in each, giving a total of 30. So I've now built and completed all 30 of these, including the guy with the icon and the musician type dude as well. So I've got the big flamey standard and so on, so I can actually run a full blob of 30, which is the maximum you can take of the Pink Horrors. So that is another big chunk of infantry completed. I'm quite happy to have these as well in the forces because the Tzeentch Daemons lack a lot of offensive shooting. You're typically relying on Exalted Flamers and Flamers. These are one of the few other units that actually have a ranged output. So yeah, pretty happy to run these in my forces. A large blob, big invulnerable save on these at 4+. The other horrors are a lot less than that at 5 and 6. But this now completes all of my horror build. So yeah, really happy that I've managed to make all of that progress and get these guys finished. Finally then are the 2 units of Screamers. Now I did use a preview photo of a few of these up on my Instagram and Twitter if you're not following on there, so you can see the advanced photos that I do take. I did run out of pre-made bases for these guys. I've had to knock out a few new of these lava bases. There is a tutorial on the channel for how I make those lava bases if you're interested in copying that formula. We now have a full 3 units of Screamers for the Tzeentch Daemons. That maxes out to the maximum you can actually take in an army due to that rule of 3. And these come in a unit of 9, so that makes 27 in total. I already had 9 of these complete following the Warhammer TV method, but I wanted to make sure that my 2 other units looked very distinct from that, so there's no confusion on the battlefield. Also adds to that Tzeentch flavour. Now the paint scheme that I did adopt with these was just still using the same colour palette that I've got across the rest of the Tzeentch Daemons. In fact, the second unit that you're seeing here is a very similar palette to the Mutalith Vortex Beast, so Incubi Darkness and that kind of colour palette. And the other ones are a mixture of sort of Thousand Suns-ish blue as well as the pink to match with the Pink Horrors. So we've got blue, pinks, light blues, dark blues and so on. Really sort of sets them all apart, makes them all look very chaotic and very incoherent when there's all 3 units. But I think that makes up for the fact that they are chaotic and they're supposed to look a little bit different. They come from a different colour pattern. I think that makes them look really cool. And obviously if you run them in smaller units and you're running them as separate units, having 3 different colours means that they all fit in nicely and there's no confusion on the tabletop. So there we go then, guys, a massive chunk of Tzeentch Daemons already complete. I've no idea how I've managed to get this far, but bear in mind when I did set out my hobby plans, a lot of these were at a stage that was already built or at least had one colour down on them. So it's quite a lot of finishing off. So in the case of the Screamers, they were, at one point, I think they were just airbrushed blue, and that was it. So quite a lot of blending and quite a lot of bit of dry brushing, bit of contrast and so on to finish those guys off, plus all the hand painting of all of the talons and the claws and the pointy bits that are going on those. Pretty happy with the way that they've all turned out. I've got 3 squads now of 9, which is the most you can take because you can only take 3 data slates, and the units only go up to a maximum of 9. So I've maxed out on the number of Screamers that I'll ever need to take in any game of 40k. In addition to that, I finished out those pink horrors as well as my first Herald as well, my Fate Skimmer. Yeah, the one on the disc, you saw him. So that's where we're at. I've still got the Demon Prince, the Change Caster, and an Exalted Flamer still to go. So still a little bit more to do, but broken and the Lord of Change, sorry, but broken the back on a lot of the infantry that have been sat around on this desk just down here for some time. So really happy with the way that that's gone on. Progress has been made. But as always, guys, I'd love to hear what you think of the progress so far. How is your 2020 hobby resolutions or hobby progress going so far? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below what you think of the progress I've made, and also let me know how you are getting on. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I shall catch you guys on the next video.